So in today's video, we're going to discuss how I lost $100,000. Yeah, 100 grand, $100,000 in a real estate deal. And I'm going to break it down of how this actually happened and what transpired, what I did wrong, what I could have did better, and kind of break it down. So I didn't want to make this video, but I feel like in all honesty, in real estate, not everything is a win. Sometimes you have to lose to learn a lesson. Sometimes you have to lose to be able to know what not to do. So let's get into this video, all right? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Gene Garan. I'm a local investor and realtor in the Orlando area. And I also invest and we do construction and a lot of things. So in this channel particularly, we make real estate full circle. That's whether you're buying a home, you're trying to invest in a home, or you're trying to get a hard money loan to invest in real estate or the construction side. This is how we make real estate full circle for you. One, by buying your personal home, by buying an investment, getting you the hard or private money financing for that investment, and also handling the construction side of that. So we're gonna go into this video. I have a few things that I wrote down that we're going to talk about of how I lost this money. But the first I want to break down is this. It's social media. So if you're watching social media, there's a lot of things you're going to see. People are buying houses in Detroit. They're buying houses in Chicago. They're buying houses everywhere for $5,000, $10,000. I'm not going to lie. I kind of caught that bug too. I was like, yo, they're buying houses for this cheap. Maybe I can do the same thing. And these people that are doing that are in these markets. And I'm like, oh, man, I can do the same thing. So I got caught up in all the, Instagram hysteria, real estate investing, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. So a few group of us went to a particular area to invest. I'll tell you exactly what the area is and as we start getting to this video. So watching that, I'm like, all right, cool, we can do this, renovate the house. I'm already doing it here in Florida. I could do the same thing in a different state. And wrong. But we'll get into that later. I was like, whoa, what the heck was I thinking now? I could laugh a little bit, but it's not really funny. It's not. But let's get into it. So that's my first mistake, all right? I'm gonna tell you the mistakes, I'm gonna tell you what I could have did better, okay? Just so let's go down the line. So that was the first mistake. Thinking that I could do all these things like everybody else, and that's it. It just didn't work out. So the state that I went to invest in was Alabama. Went to invest in Alabama, we bought a lot of properties. A good friend of mine went there, and they had more resources than we had. Although we had access to their resources, they had more bandwidth than I did and one of my other business associates. And we went there, and we bought a few properties, and the properties we bought multifamily, single family. When I say multifamily, 5 units or more. So not like 20, 30 unit. Let me make sure I get proper context. So we bought a few properties. So with that, they needed some work. So we started, doing some of the work. We acquired the properties and they had tenants in it. Some of them did not have tenants. Some of them were complete hellholes, biscuits, like you making biscuits from scratch. Like we had to do everything in there. So we're renovating some of the houses. We get to a point where we're like, well, look, if we put this amount of money in this property, we'll never get it back over time because appreciation in that area is not strong. It's more of a rental market. So for me, I'm like, all right, so not put too much money in renovation. So we do just what we need to do, keep it up to par for rental. So we do it for one, and that one does good. And we end up making a little bit of money from it, like $300, $400 a month. That one was a duplex, and that one was going smooth. Then we find we got to do more repairs. And I was like, what the heck? So that took place. But in this video, I'm going to break that down for you so you have a better understanding. Okay. So that was the state we went to. I had no resources. Like I had resources, but not enough, to be honest with you. Not enough for me to say, hey, I'm going to go in this market and just kill it. Not really. However, I thought that we could do that, so we went and did it. Next thing that happened was the property management. Property management, they started off good because they were getting money from us. We're doing renovations, we're doing upkeep. Everything is good. So in the beginning, everything was going smooth. On the tail end, everything went rocky and south, and they took money from us, etc. And it didn't work right at all. So here are the 4 things we're going to discuss in this video. Out-of-state investing, property management when you're doing out-of-state investing, contractors when you're there, and also the tenants when you're doing stuff out-of-state. So here are the 4 things we're talking about. Just so you can know what's going on in this video. It's going to be a pretty interesting video. Please stay tuned, watch to the end. Let me know your feedback as you're watching this too as well. All right, so let's talk about the contractors. So in the beginning, contractors were doing good. They started getting work done. But before we got to the right contractor, we had to find a few. So we had to go through our property manager who had a few references. Now, some of these references were good references for certain things. A plumber might have been good, but the electrician might have sucked. The drywall guy might have been good, but the painter probably wasn't that good. And keep in mind, these buildings are older. We get it. They need updates. That's completely okay. But still, someone who is professional in their trade should know exactly what to do if they come come into a house. Now, remember, we're doing this all remotely. We go here and there to see what's going on in the progress. That's one of our mistakes. We should have been there more often to check in on the progress instead of just trusting the property manager, which you don't do. You go checking on your properties. So as contractors, some of them were, telling us these crazy prices. We're like, no, how is the hell that's possible? We don't pay these prices in Florida. How the hell in this area it's a lot cheaper, which makes no sense. I was like, what the biscuit? Makes no sense. So we had to get negotiations. So sometimes we had to source our own contractors, and that was a whole conundrum, a whole mess. Now, granted, there was some good contractors that did good work for us, but that was a few far in between. The bad ones were a lot more, and they were trying to get over it because they thought we were out of state. And I'll give you a whole nother story of what transpired with the property manager and the contractors, and that's a whole different thing. But that's one of the things that we kind of did. We kind of overlooked. We didn't pay attention to that. We didn't have a strong group of contractors or a strong group of people that we knew in that area that can give us good references and referrals, people that they vetted and tested. So that's one of the cons that took place. The next thing, we invested in a Class D. So if you know anything about like investing in real estate, you have Class A, B, C, and D. I don't really make people even talk about F because no one even goes to that. Even if that's a class, which, you know what, I know better. I'm mad at myself. I know better not to invest in Class D or anything below that. I don't know why I did it. I think it was so cheap. I know better. I should have not done this. Just thinking about it in hindsight. But I should never invested in Class D properties. You should never. I don't care what no one tells you. Like, the quality of tenants is not the best. You're gonna find some good tenants, but there's a reason why it's that class for a reason. It just doesn't work. Now, only way this works if it's Section 8, and you're better, but you still gonna have some repairs. You're gonna have a little bit of stuff to deal with. So moving forward, I'm only going to Class C and B. Like, never looking back. No looking back at all. I'm not doing that. And the tenants, we have issue with tenants. Like, sometimes they'll pay, sometimes they'll not pay. And I was like, man, this is horrendous. Like, I bought these properties. Like, I have to make these expensive repairs. And I'm not getting paid. So it's frustrating. And it's out of state. So if I gotta fly, it's more money. I was like, man, what the hell? Like, the biscuit is like, it's crazy. So that's one of the things. Like, it wasn't properly done with the tenants, and it's just the structure just wasn't done. The property manager was doing a buttery biscuit job, just not good at all. Like, just not good. Like, the worst biscuits you can ever eat in your life. They just suck. And the reason why you guys see, like, I don't really curse. So like, only thing I can kind of say is like biscuit, but it's like so annoying. But I'm gonna get to the good part too. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get to that. The next thing I want to talk about is really how the property manager and the contractors were all in cahoots. Like, they were getting kickbacks from the contractors, and I was like, they're just making double money on us, and it just didn't make sense. So we just like, you know what, we're done with this. We're gonna fire you. We're gonna hire somebody else. And keep in mind, this property management, they were licensed agents. They were supposed to be doing a good job, which they started doing off good. You know, now when you first dated someone, everything start going good, and you like, oh damn, they're the devil. Yeah, that's what happened. They were the devil. It didn't pan out. It just did not. So this is how I've come to like lose $100,000, and it was most of the properties in that one area. We had a duplex, a single family, and a multi-family unit. So we were able to sell some of them and get our money back and kind of make a little bit of money. But there's still a balance out there. And the reason why I say I lost $100,000 because I have not pulled that money out, and I have not made money on this money. At this point, I'm bleeding money, and I don't know if I'm gonna get my whole $100,000 out of it. I'm in the red, I'm in a negative. So I've probably lost double in opportunity cost what I could have done with that money, because we bought these properties cash. And now looking at it in hindsight, I probably lost more than $100,000. So until I sell the last bit of this, that money's still there. We're still trying to figure out how to get the remaining balance. We're gonna have to eventually maybe just offer owner financing to get it off our hands, and that's it. But the pros to this is I learned that don't do what everyone else is doing. Stick to your methodology. Stick to it. The people that you're following, mentors, coach, stick to that. And some people in those markets, they live there. They understand those markets. They grew up in that area. They have friends and family who can kind of assist them. We had nobody really. So I would not advise it. And I'm not buying these cheap properties. I might buy them to hold them, but to go do a whole rehab, I don't want to stay there for like a month or two just to kind of do the construction and watch oversight. That's what I really learned. That's the pros from this. Just a learning experience of what not to do, what to kind of teach my students what not to do, or my future clients of, hey, this is what I can give you precaution and also my experience from. So that experience, I bring that to clients that I may deal later on. So that's how I'm going to add value to them. And I've also written down a series of steps of what to do next time. So that way it becomes a more profitable venture for me and not necessarily a negative at the end of it. So hopefully you found some value in this. And if you did, please leave a comment below. And by all means, I'm not saying Alabama was a bad place to invest. The area that we picked just wasn't the best, and how the situation went down just wasn't the best. So there's a lot of opportunities in that area that you can invest and make money. It just didn't work out for me and how I entered it. It doesn't mean that it won't work out for you if you have a better resources and a better grip on what's going on in the terrain down there. So that's it for this video. This is Gene Garan with Real Estate Full Circle. Hopefully I see you guys in the next video. I'm going to be dropping more content. I'm going to keep myself accountable and drop more content for you guys about how to make real estate full circle and the strategies that go behind it. So I'll stop ranting. Check out some of my other videos about investing and also wholesalers somewhere here. The team put it up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I am out.